Okay, hey everybody, welcome to STAR. All right, so as we go through usual announcements, we have things for you all to buy. $10, you can buy your membership to the club. You can support us in what we do and all the things we do for you, make it easier for us. You can also buy a shirt like the one that I'm wearing today. Oh wow, look at this fancy design and comfortable wear. Oh wow, it is form-fitting. Will show off your best features guaranteed. I have none, that's why it's so loose. And these shirts are $10 for members, $15 for non-members. So if you go give Claire over there, Claire wave to all the pretty people. If you give Claire 20, you can get your membership and a t-shirt. Oh wow, what a deal. Speaking of great deals, we have sodas for $1, and we also have deformed sodas for 75 cents. The only thing that's wrong with the sodas is the cans are a little bit wonky. The internal soda is still delicious and quenching. So we're also selling Doctor Strange tickets. So Doctor Strange is coming out on November 5th, and you can buy tickets through us for $11. So that is $1 cheaper than Fandango. So there you go. Save money, live better, Star Club. So we also have Starbase Rescues going on this week, this Saturday. This is our big Escape the Room fall event thing that we've been hyping up for a while now. You might have seen our advertising in napkin holders and in posters around campus. That is going to be 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, the 29th, in the Infinity Quad and Booth Hall. And those will be two separate puzzles in those places. So you can enjoy the Escape the Room fun not once but twice. Other things going on, the PR committee is meeting, as always, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Wednesday, SAU 1000, that's right downstairs. We have new people coming all the time, so please come in, help us advertise. We brainstorm posters there, we hang up posters, we assign like points and prizes for people who hang up posters, and it's great fun. It's a great way to, we also just sort of hang out with a lot of other STAR people. So if you can't get enough of us, come to that. Nerdocalypse is coming up as well. That's going to be us, RWAG, EGS Fantasy Club, Anime Club, and Cosplay Troupe. That is a little bit later. That is November 5th. 10 a.m. to midnight in the Clark cafeteria. Otherwise, make sure you keep up to date with us on the Facebook, on the Twitter, and on the Slack. Otherwise, next week we're going to be having our annual cosplay contest that actually takes place on Halloween this year. So come in your best sci-fi cosplay outfit, and we will be handing out prizes to the best ones. And the runway order is first come, first serve, so show up early to get those prime spots. For people who are postering, I have posters right over there by me in the corner. Come grab your allotment if you're not going to be or if you need a poster, which you know who you are. Otherwise, I will hand it over to Michael Cooper to get it going.
This might take a while. There's a lot of HD images in this.
You want to listen?
Yeah. So my name is Michael Cooper. I know that I asked a lot of you to come here, so yeah. And I'm here to talk about science fiction architecture. So this is a neat image I found on, what's the name of that art website? DeviantArt? No, not DeviantArt.
Imager?
No, never mind.
Pinterest. Tumblr.
Pinterest, yeah, Pinterest.
Yeah.
So I found this on Pinterest. It's a sci-fi version of Future Friends. But what exactly is architecture? Sorry.
The world we never know.
The mouse is out of power, guys. There we go.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, well, go back.
There we go.
Can you guys bring some maps on again?
Yeah, we actually did. We were afraid that we'd have to swap out this laptop. Anyway, architecture is the planning, design, and construction of building physical structures. And it's also the name for the product thereof. So if you think architecture, think about what termites do. They build mounds that they live in, and think of all human accomplishments, think of everything we built, and now think about the termites mound. Because we are doing the exact same thing as they are. Just Slightly more advanced, slightly more advanced. Anyway, but architecture is a lot more than just simple buildings. It's a solution to many complicated problems. Where do we live? Where do we store stuff? Where do we go if we want entertainment? Where do we go to work? That sort of thing. People live in architecture, obviously. And people don't just live in architecture. Most people die in architecture. I know that some of my great-grandparents died in hospitals, and that's architecture. But yeah, bring it home. Architecture is both functional and aesthetic, and that's important because architecture serves a function as in a place to store stuff, that sort of thing. But there's also decisions to be made about how it's going to look. And even if you're the type of person who says that architecture should not look like anything, it should just look exactly like its function, that is itself an aesthetic decision. There's no way out of it. It also tells us a story about the culture and people that created it. I mean, see here the pyramids. Like, we all know this is the second most memorable thing about Egypt. Anyone remember? Never mind. Anyway, so these are tombs, really. They're there to hold pharaohs inside them, and they point up to the sky, and it tells a story about these pharaohs, about Egypt. And Stonehenge is a story we're still trying to figure out, but it's so enticing. Why did they build Stonehenge? There's many theories, but no real proof yet. Yeah, probably aliens. So, in the past, I did a presentation on economics in science fiction and government in science fiction. Economics is the study of what people do. Economics is the story of what people do knowing that they're going to die. Government is what happens to us before we die. And architecture is where we live before we die. Everything's about death, really. Anyway, architecture consumes limited resources, like economics. Economic and governmental functions happen in architecture. And governments themselves use architecture to project their power or project what they're really about. I mean, let's compare a medieval castle to the White House, and you can see that these are going for very different effects and trying to get a very different feeling about the government. And also, in science fiction, people live in buildings. But I'm not sure if you realize, buildings are everywhere. It's madness. Anyway, the buildings they live in tells us a lot about what their needs are, what their resources they have available, what type of culture they have, what's their history. It also defines and books the world. So can anyone tell me where this is from? What specifically? What's the name of this town? Megaton. So what can we learn about this society from the look of their architecture? Yeah?
They don't organize themselves accordingly to, make use of the space, and you just sort of seem to glue everything together.
Suboptimal city plans.
Yeah?
They have so like trees and forests to get the wood.
Yeah, no wood is being used here. This is all scrap metal. In the game, it's because they have dismantled and, what do you call it? The warehouse where you store aircraft, what do you call that?
A hangar.
A hangar, yeah, a hangar. They dismantled the hangar and turned it into this. Yeah?
They don't seem to mind living dangerously close to an active nuclear bomb.
Oh yeah, see this here? In case you didn't know, that was an active nuclear bomb, live. And it could explode at any moment. But they decided this was a good place to live anyway. Yeah?
I don't know anything about Fallout. Is it possible that they don't have a lot of space or a lot of, they don't have like a lot of real estate where they do have a very high population, because otherwise I don't know why they would have precariously built upwards?
Well, they built it out of the crater of a nuclear bomb, as one would.
Alright, so they have a limited amount of space inside.
Yeah. Yes?
Is there any radiation leakage from that nuclear bomb right there?
Yes? Yes, there is. Yeah, this is not a place you actually want to live. This is crazy. There's no food sources nearby either. Anyone else have anything about this? Yeah?
Can I blow up Megaton with the nuke in the middle?
Yes, you can. That's the big ethical moral choice of the game. Will you blow up a society of innocent people, or will you not blow up a society of innocent people?
It's their god!
Yes, they do worship the nuclear bomb as a god.
But then I keep saying I blew up the house.
Yeah. So there's another work of sci-fi media that has a really distinctive style. Mass Effect. Ever notice how Mass Effect always seems to have these curves everywhere? It's in the logo, it's in the designs, it's in Commander Shepard's armor, it's everywhere. So what does this mean? What does the curve represent? Well, the curve in the outline, in the logo there, is the horizon of a planet as viewed from space. As the curves themselves, one of the developers said that the curves are there to represent what a big polygon budget they have now. But also, curves like these represent the future. And for many reasons I'm about to go into, many optimistic futuristic works use curves in order to represent that future. Like, does this logo look a bit like Starfleet's logo? Yeah?
Or Apple.
And Apple. Apple does try to evoke the future using the curve. Whoops. So in architecture, there are architectural movements which are simply groupings. These buildings look sort of alike, and they have sort of similar influences, and they may have been made by the same person, so therefore they're part of a movement. But these movements also describe the cultural zeitgeist. Because at some point, someone made a judgment call and said, I want to build a building that looks like this. I want to build a monument that looks like this. And thought that was a good idea. It represented something to them. Architecture is rarely done accidentally. Though there are plenty of examples of terrible architecture not done accidentally. And understanding why they made the choices they made is important to understanding the society they came from. It's the story told by the architecture. So let's start with Ray Gun Gothic. So who here knows what show this is?
Flintstones. Flintstones.
Yeah, the Flintstones.
Scooby-Doo.
Hanna-Barbera show for privileged people.
What?
Hanna-Barbera show for privileged people.
Privileged people?
Yeah, me.
I think. And is the Flintstones the Hanna-Barbera show for working class people?
Yeah. No, they had a ton of animal servants.
Anyway, so Reagan Gothic describes a future that never was. It is what the past thought the future would look like. And you're going to hear that a lot, because I'm actually going to start with the past and then move up to the future. But remember, every time I say modernism, this is modernism for the time. People back then thought that this is what modern looks like. This is what future looks like. And even though this might seem naive to us, this is what they thought, yeah?
Do you think maybe someday, like, the 2060s might actually look like that, if we work towards that?
No, I don't think this is the style really we're working on soon. I want our future, I want our 2060s future to be Art Deco. Anyway, so what is Ray Gun Gothic? Early to mid 20th century vision of the future. It's what we think of when we think of early science fiction. The science fiction magazines, the stuff called that. This sculpture, by the way, is an installation piece in California called Ray Gun Gothic Rocket Ship. So Ray Gun Gothic is actually an amalgamation of several styles at the time: Googie, Popular Lux, Dreamlight Modern, and Art Deco. So what is Googie? It is the architecture of the roadside. So have you guys ever been in going to a diner and you have that weird architecture of that diner? Yeah. Or some type of very old gas station or movie theater or something like that? Well, this is that style. It's called Googie. And it's based off this coffee shop called Googie's. Before there was Google, there was Googie's. Yeah?
Wait, what's the word? There we go. Like Fallout?
What?
Like Fallout?
Yeah, Fallout uses Googie a lot. Anyway, it's post-World War II car culture. We have lots of roadside attractions, and these roadside attractions, they want to be their own billboards. So they want to make themselves as distinctive as possible, but they also want to be optimistic. They represent the future, after all. They evoke the space age. And how do they do this? Their structure defies gravity. We have roof overhangs that are saucer-like and defy gravity, roofs that slope upwards, domes, boomerangs. Who here knows the television network Boomerang?
Yeah.
I believe it's based on Googie, the title, because Boomerang is associated with the Googie style, and Boomerangs are in Googie.
No, it's because Lachlan Max used.
Maybe it's a double pipe. And scientifically, we see a lot of rings and circles, exposed steel beams, rocket-esque architecture, and large steel windows. With large glass windows. It's the space age. The space age is finally here, and it's optimistic. Despite taking place at a very scary time, for some reason there was a lot of optimism this time. So we can see such architecture in here. This is called the Theme Building. It overlooks the Los Angeles International Airport. It's a rotating restaurant. And here's a gas station. Here's a hotel that really shows the slope group. It slopes towards the stars. That's the point. It goes upwards into space. And this is from the George Lucas's classic film starring Harrison Ford, American Graffiti. Who here knows about American Graffiti?
Oh, yes.
Not bad, some of you do. It's only his 10th most popular film. You all should know about it. American Graffiti. Anyway, it's about car culture. Harrison Ford is in it. It's awesome. Anyway, so that brings us to Populux. Popular luxury. It's a portmanteau. This is the design of consumer goods at the time. You guys know about the stereotype of the 1950s extreme consumerism. Everyone's trying to keep up with each other. Everyone's trying to buy the newest appliances, the newest furniture, and trying to keep up. And it was hard, stressful, and everyone was putting on a facade of being sane and stuff like that. Well, this is the architecture of that. And what? Okay.
Something about communists.
Yeah. So this is clearly associated with luxury, hence the title, popular luxury. And you try to make your house look as luxurious as possible. You see tech-focused, optimistic, streamlined artificial furniture with curved designs, Spartan designs, and an emphasis. This isn't really something I found, but I see a lot of emphasis on the material used, like here. It's clearly demonstrating the material used for the car. And this is an example of sorry for the lower resolution image. This is a science fiction movie of the time about a Populux home underwater. Yeah?
It looks like the inside of a Teletubby house.
It's called Hello Down There. So there's also Streamlined Modern, which is a bit of a more serious type of architecture, in my opinion. It uses simple geometric shapes, smooth surfaces, and emphasizes curves and horizontal lines. The idea is that this is to evoke the machine age. This is the new thing. Does this look like it was built with hand tools? How about the Coca-Cola building? Was that built with hand tools? It was built by machines. It was assembled by human beings. But it's there to show it's architecture that could not have been built earlier. That's the point. And not only that, the horizontal lines evoke forward movement. Even this train looks like it's moving even as it's standing still. This train's not moving. Those horizontal lines just pushes the eye forward. And it's also a very industrial style, because industrial was new. Industrial was optimistic, big back then. This is before industrialism sounded like a bad idea. So as for Art Deco, we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. It deserves its own section. So Ray Gun Gothic is an amalgamation of these. So it's scientific, ideological. We have a lot of curves, geometric shapes, horizontal lines, but we're also pointing towards the future, pointing towards the stars. And it's just a very evocative style of the time. We have works at Star Trek, Metropolis, and even Flash Gordon. Do we remember Flash Gordon? I actually watched the original Flash Gordon serial. It actually holds up pretty well. Well, if you ignore the special effects, it's just fun, okay? But what does it mean today? It's the past future, back before optimism died. Yeah, optimism died during the late 1970s. Sorry, guys. It seems almost misguided and naive now. Or maybe they had the right idea, though. Who here actually watched Tomorrowland? 6 times. 6 times. So Tomorrowland evokes ray gun Gothic in order to talk about a past future that is no longer attainable because people have lost optimism. Namely, it uses ray gun Gothic to represent an optimistic future, and compares our real world to a less optimistic future to give us a message that we need to think optimistically in order to make an optimistic future. Alternatively, there's also Fallout. You know this?
Yeah.
Which uses ray gun Gothic architecture for juxtaposition. I mean, this is the future's past as post-apocalyptic future. Yeah, isn't this just so ironic? Alright, it's not technically ironic, but you get the idea. And isn't this inherently funny though? Like, this is an inherently funny image to me. I mean, it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's funny. Also, this is an image from Mass Effect. It shows that we're taking the slopes going upwards and the horizontal lines and developing on the style too. This is the Solarian homeworld Surkesh. And it shows where we could go forward with ray gun Gothic, a more modernized version of ray gun Gothic, which was the effect that Mass Effect was always trying to go for. So where does the term ray gun Gothic comes from? I mean, who was the person who came up with the term ray gun Gothic? And I know one of you guys know this because one of his books was in the book club. Yeah? No. Close. William Gibson. Yeah. So he created a short story called The Gernsback Continuum, where there's this man in our world who keeps seeing visions of another world based on ray gun Gothic utopia. He keeps seeing these impossible, amazing structures that he describes as ray gun Gothic in the story, but it's different from our own reality. And in the end, he decides that he does not like ray gun Gothic, that he prefers the darker, grittier architectural styles of the real world. Hence, ray gun Gothic is used to contrast old sci-fi with cyberpunk, new sci-fi, the grittier, darker sci-fi, the cynical sci-fi. So who here likes ray gun Gothic? Yeah?
Against it.
Anyone has something to say about ray gun Gothic?
There's a lot of holes.
It's super pretty. It is a streamlined model. As every time it goes, round thingies are cool.
Yes, round things are cool.
Round things are cool.
So it's a synthetic architectural style made up of these real architectural styles?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it's sort of a fictional architectural style, but it's an amalgamation of a lot of real-world stuff. Do you have anything on the Slack?
What?
We're talking about
What about the Slack?
Anything on the Slack? About ray gun Gothic?
Not on the Slack. One second.
Yeah?
I mean, the Meet the Robinsons movie is
Oh, yeah.
very Ray Gothic, and it's so round and pretty.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned Art Deco, and we're going to talk about Art Deco, and we're also going to be talking about objectivism as well. So who here knows what Bioshock is?
Yes.
So Bioshock is this 2007 sci-fi shooter, yes, 2007, that was 10 years old, set in an underwater objectivist utopia that has gone dystopia. You see, because of the open marketplace, everyone became addicted to this drug that edits your genetic code and turns you into a genetic monster, which is the fate of all capitalist societies, really. It uses Art Deco architecture for aesthetics and levalism. But what is Art Deco? Who here knows what this is?
It is Atlas.
But what building is this? 30 Rockefeller Center Plaza. So it's the signature style of the Roaring Twenties. It originated in France, but became an international style. And it became associated with industrialism and objectivism. It's a style that represents wealth and became associated with industrialists. Like Rockefeller Center was associated with a man called Rockefeller.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and the story is that during the Great Depression, all the funding for this building got cut. So Rockefeller put up his own money in order to make sure it's completed. Hence, it got associated with industrialism and important industrialist men, great men, objectivist men who are the objectivist ideal. And this story actually helped him stop fire, my Bioshock. So what's the Art Deco elements? It's clean. Art Deco is clean. You might notice that in Bioshock, everything's dirty, but that's because things are different, because it's dystopia. Originally, everything was clean in Bioshock. It became dirty. It's filled with geometric shapes, symmetry, a lot of symmetry. I mean, look how massive this building is, and it's symmetrical. And look at this building, some type of church, I believe, that's symmetrical. There's vertical lines as opposed to horizontal lines. So it's pointing upwards, but it's not really pointing upwards for the stars or space. It's pointing upwards to heaven. It's more a Tower of Babel thing, really. It's contrasting colors, streamlined design, and it's filled with embellishments. But these embellishments, it's not like you're hanging art on the wall or making sure the drapes look nice. It's a different type of embellishment. The embellishments are basically carved into the wall. It's engraved in the wall. And it's also in Dutch machine-made precision, and follows function over form, but clearly has a lot of form to it as well. It prioritizes function to be unpretentious about it, but it also does a lot with form. So who here knows what building that is? I don't know why I bothered pointing that out, really. Alright, so quick time on objectivism. You understand why I got associated with it. Objectivists believe that there is an objective reality. As in, reality will exist whether we're thinking about it or not, whether we believe in it or not, the same reality exists. If we die, reality will continue to exist. That means that, and nothing transcends objective reality, and we shouldn't trust anything that cannot be proven. Hence, Ayn Rand was an atheist. Oh, in case you didn't know, Ayn Rand was the philosopher who created objectivism. Yeah, I know she's a very controversial figure, but I think philosopher is a fine way to describe her. Alright, the main goal of an objectivist is to further their own happiness through rational self-interest. Greed is good, altruism is bad. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's essentially it. You are putting yourself first, and that is not itself unethical. And people should get what they deserve, but they should not be given what they did not earn. And basically, she called for unregulated capitalism and a respect for individual rights. So, I'm sure some of you are probably half and half on her if you really get down to it. She's a major influence on libertarian and conservative movements. Many people in the conservative movement not realizing that she was calling for atheism, I assumed. Anyway, so why did Art Deco get associated with objectivism? Well, she wrote a story called The Fountainhead, which is a story about an architect, inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright, an architect associated with the Art Deco style. So all the artwork associated with her books or stories were done in the Art Deco style because of that connection. So she believed that the point of art and architecture is to show how what humans think, what man thinks, is most important about the world. And to de-emphasize things that he feels is less important. And she felt that Art Deco represented that very well. Now, I'm not going to go further with objectivism. This is not philosophy in science fiction. Maybe next time. Anyway, but why did Andrew Ryan, the creator of the city in Bioshock, use Art Deco? Because it's a cool style, it's an industrial style, it's a bold style, it's a cool style. Did I mention that it's a cool style? It's my favorite style. It's progressive and forward-thinking. It shows industry. But most importantly, it's not these three things. It's not religious. It does not look like a church. There are Art Deco churches, but Art Deco is not a religious style. It's not associated with churches. It's not for arts, which I'll explain why that's important later. And it's not socialist fascism. In other words, it's not Soviet architecture. And he hated the Soviet Union too. Did I mention that it looks cool? Also, I'm going to let Andrew Ryan explain some of it himself. So this is in Bioshock 2, actually, in Dionysus Park.
Dionysus Park. Madame Moxley in the name of this place. She knows precisely what we about this celebration of world as it ought to be, not as it is damned to be by some spasm of the lower mind. I shall censor the part.
And that's essentially what I wanted to say. He feels that the architectural style should reflect how he thinks the world ought to be, as opposed to how the world is today, or a pretty version of the world, or how the world ought not to be. And that's the point of art, and that's the point of architecture. Why do you guys think he used Art Deco? Do any of you have any ideas about that? Yeah?
He bases society off of Rand's ideas, right?
Well, in the story, he is Ayn Rand. He's not directly inspired by Ayn Rand. Andrew Ryan, Ayn Rand, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So, is that like a major spoiler?
No.
Oh.
The whole point is that he's Ayn Rand, and this is an objectivist society.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Was it because he was a punk bitch who thought he was better than everyone else? Even Wall.
I'm not sure if I put it exactly like that, but yes.
He has a cool cat.
Yeah, it's because he's a narcissist. Art Deco is the architectural style of narcissist. It's also my favorite.
Yeah, same.
So why does the game use Art Deco? Because there's some level design purposes that goes into the Art Deco. Art Deco is actually a really good style for level design. The style draws the eyes, the style with their vertical lines draw the eyes upward to the enemies in the rafters and to points of interest. It's repeatable, easily readable parts, so they can reuse art assets. Like they reuse the door, each and every door is the same door in Bioshock. Did anyone not realize that? And not only that, the geometric style alleviates the polygon budgets. Like, oh no, it's supposed to look low poly, it's Art Deco. And to go into more detail, a lot of this came from Jamin Warren, who did a video called The Genius of Bioshock's Level Design. And you should look that up if you want more information about it. He puts it better than I could. So who here loves Art Deco like I do? I am keeping tally.
I'm not sold on anything yet. I'm
You're
gonna
not?
weigh my options later.
Okay, there's still plenty to come. Yeah? Alright, so next, we're going to talk about something completely and utterly different. Bioshock Infinite! Ooh!
Go off camera.
You don't like Bioshock Infinite?
No, I don't.
But you do like the architecture, don't you?
I mean, I do like the architecture, but I think the game would have been better as not a shooter.
Alright, so Bioshock Infinite and the Demons of the White City. So we're going to go into what the White City actually is. Well, it's related to that. So those who don't know, Bioshock Infinite is the follow-up to Bioshock. Instead of an underwater city, we have a floating city. And instead of objectivism, we have American exceptionalism, which includes white supremacy, institutionalized racism and slavery, subjugation, militarism, and strict religious doctrine. This game was played with fire. I don't think people seem to appreciate how much controversial stuff it was actually talking
And
about.
then it completely went off the rails.
Yeah.
Actually, but on rails, but.
I feel like the gameplay didn't really, like, so perfectly mesh with the world building as the original did, and that's why people didn't quite pick up on all of those amazing themes the way they were conveyed in the original.
Yeah.
Also, there was only one ending.
True.
Yeah, there was true.
There was, Bioshock was all about the choices you made, and then
The only choice you have is fair and girl or not.
Architecture, not game.
By the way, I think we can all agree that this is the real cover to the game. Not the cover they went with, this is the real cover.
I love this. The original's awesome. I love it.
Oh, come on, Mark. Anyway, so the style of this new city is City Beautiful with some colonial elements. But what is City Beautiful? Well, let's go talk about the White City. The Chicago World Fair 1883. So the World's Fair is an exhibition that shows the world basically what the world is going to look like in the next few years. We're talking new inventions, new architectural styles, new art styles. This was a place where different cultures met. This was even a place where different religions met. This is actually a very progressive place. This is a celebration of the 400th anniversary of Columbus's journey. That's what the water here represents. It became a symbol of American exceptionalism. It's called the White City because everything was painted white. In fact, this is actually the first colored photo, but no one noticed. I'm sorry for that one. That was a lie. Anyway, so that was why it was called the White City, because everything was painted white. And there was also bright street lights and stuff like that. And also, yes, it had something to do with white people. Alright? It's based on a four art style. It's a type of neoclassicism. That means we're talking Greco-Roman architecture being remade for the modern time. We're taking Greco-Roman elements and combining it with Renaissance ideas to make grandiose structures that evoke ancient Greek temples. And that is part of the reason why Andrew Ryan did not want this to be the style of his new city. Well, one, the columns would be impractical on water. Two, this is the Lincoln Memorial, and it looks like a Greek temple. If I replace the statue of Abraham Lincoln with a statue of Jupiter, would that really feel out of place? It's a temple, really. We're worshiping him there. And that's something that objectivists don't really like doing, worshiping. Later, the style evolved into federal architecture. So the elements of four arts, columns, large arches, symmetry. Think Roman architecture. I think we all know what the Roman architecture looks like, right? So the City Beautiful movement grew out of the White City, essentially saying, well, why can't all America be as pretty as the White City? Why is Washington, D.C. a swamp when it should look like Chicago? It made America look like the new Roman Republic. It evoked the architecture of Athens, the first democracy. Well, it's controversial. It might not have been the first democracy, but you get the idea. And it's believed that it promotes patriotism and civic virtue, which is stuff that the people of Columbia are big on, which is, again, why Andrew Ryan probably hates this style, hates it with all his guts. If you don't see the connection, Agro Sky did all these images, showing images of Bioshock Infinite with images from the World's Fair. As you can see, there's a big, large connection here. So, this style, it feels distinctly American. I mean, it was inspired by France and Greece and all that, but it's America. It feels like America's style. It is what Main Street USA looks like. It is what it's what the mall looks like. It's what all the White House looks like. It is our architectural style of our government. It's grandiose, almost to the point of being out of touch, which a lot of the people in Columbia are.
Yeah.
It's too perfect, really. It's almost the uncanny valley of architecture. And it's also juxtaposing the beautiful architecture with the very brutal society of Bioshock Infinite. It makes it feel like a theme park, really. I know that's a criticism a lot of people lay, but it's supposed to feel like a theme park. It's supposed to feel too perfect. It's supposed to be like Disneyland, really. So who here likes City Beautiful?
I like it, I think.
Who here, do you like the way it's used in Bioshock Infinite?
Yes, it's literally it's used in Bioshock.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world building was excellent. It just
For like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then they set it on fire.
Yeah.
Well, no, but it's still like, I think the design of Infinite World was really good and worked really well with the sort of environment they wanted to create, and the gameplay that.
Yeah. What I absolutely love about Bioshock Infinite is that it went that far. This is an American dystopia. It felt. I did appreciate how it looked at controversial issues and kept looking at it, as opposed to shying away from it. I mean, Bioshock. The first Bioshock is my favorite Bioshock because I prefer Art Deco, but this is still really good in my opinion. So, who here has played Halo?
Fuck yeah, I have.
Who here knows what brutalism is? So, Halo was the style of Halo was actually very much inspired by brutalism. But to get into it, what is brutalism? Brutalism is this alien architectural style made by aliens masquerading as humans.
The pyramids?
No, that's not brutalism. The pyramids are made by humans trying to reach the gods. This is the style of the aliens. They're just trying to scare us. That they're slowly creeping into our society, replacing key people and key architects, and slowly our world will look like their world. Our world will look like this eventually if the brutalists get their way. The structures are made to look like giant concrete slabs. And they're made by people who might have heard about humans once, but has not known very much about humans. So for example, this is a place called Habitat 67. No, seriously, Habitat 67, that's its real name. Someone actually named a real apartment complex that. Oh, people actually live here.
Oh, what?
At least I think they're people. And it's bigger than you think.
Yeah. What the? Yeah, it does.
This is what it looks like being built. Like, of course it looks ridiculous being built. It is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I get it.
Yeah?
The little, like, lots of the rooms from the beginning of World War II, but
Yeah.
like,
What? Yeah?
They look like the freighter crates. What do you call them? Cargo.
Yeah.
Cargo containers.
There's a like a government building in one of the towns near where I live that is made in the brutalism style, and people hate it. They hate it for years, and they keep trying to like go in and find something wrong with it, like structurally. And they're like, oh, it has asbestos, we gotta take it down. And then it's like, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it does, we gotta take it down. And I think they finally took it down because so many people just dislike the style.
So this is what it looks like sort of in the inside. So this raises so many questions. Are there elevators? Is it a maze to get to your house, to get to your actual apartment? Do I have to travel up 3 separate stairwells? How do the pipes work? How is water drained?
Yeah, actually, how do you answer all these questions?
I don't know the answer to any of these questions. I'm telling you, this is a style of aliens who do not need water or to go to the bathroom. Yeah?
Is there a Bioshock game based on brutalism?
No, but there should be.
Not yet.
This is like if you're like a first time builder in like Sims. And you need more rooms, but you don't know where to put them, so you just start stacking working patterns. Yeah.
This looks like
Alright, so elements of brutalism. Repeated modular elements. You see, they want to make this easy, and they want to make it so people can easily get lost in these structures, because people who are lost will get scared and will not rise up against the aliens. They do harsh angles in order to show you that resistance is futile. They use geometric shapes because they want you to know that Mother Nature cannot save you. They expose the building material, as in the concrete here is the concrete in the inside as well. And they do this because, well, why not? And they feel that decoration is just too humanist, really. They have inset windows in order to make it feel more like a prison. There's no decoration, nothing to get your hopes up, but it is unpretentious, as in, it's a giant concrete slab, and it doesn't pretend to not be a giant concrete slab.
No wonder that's how they style our AV cameras.
So if it looks like Minecraft, it's probably brutalism. So this is Boston City Hall. Boston City. Does this not look like a city hall to you? Yeah, Boston, with its rich history of colonial architecture, decided that this is the architecture of City Hall.
Oh, like, look at that pretty tower right over there.
Yeah. All right, here's the, yeah?
So are all of the modules this, you can park your car?
Nice. All right, and one thing about brutalism is often rooms are more important, appear bigger on the outside. So we know this room must be important. This room here, because it's bigger than these rooms. I wonder what's done there. Probably the human harvesting. I love this. And the ground is completely made out of bricks. So you don't completely forget this is Boston.
Well,
Alright. Unload. Alright, so a lot of universities use this style. This is a residential hall. No, residents live here. I have no. This is the community college of Rhode Island. I have no idea what they're teaching in this building, though. I don't know where this is from, but it looks like an Art Deco. Moving on. This is Geisel's library. Okay, I do actually know where this is from. And here's some more proof this architecture for the same thing. You know, there's a rumor. Yeah, it does. You know, there's a rumor that college campuses use brutalism because it discourages students from rioting and uprising, which is a problem in the 1960s. Maybe that was the idea here.
I'm gonna be so depressed.
Yeah?
These bricks are sucking their souls out of work.
Yes.
Yeah. Tricky in the brick is the big brother of RIT.
Well, it's not like the same brothers anyway.
So I actually read up on RIT architecture, and they want the student body to approach their studies like a brutalist would, whatever that means. They want the students to see the world. They want the students to see the world in the brutalist fashion. Does anyone remember where this is from?
A street.
A wall. Outside.
It's a spot of brick.
Yeah.
It's a maze. There's a miss wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, brutalism is really obvious from this angle. And I'm still trying to figure out what this sculpture here is about.
It's a man on a horse.
Really? Because it looks more like a revolver.
I know, it's a man on a horse.
Looks like a knife.
You guys might also notice is that the farther you go along the quarter mile, the less and less brutalist it becomes, and the more easier on the eyes it becomes. You see, with this style, RT is trying to tell you a message about your studies. And that is that progress is like a wind tunnel. And if that keeps flowing forward, breathing everything around it.
Yeah, actually did have a function when the school was originally designed to build in Phoenix.
That's actually a rumor.
Not that RIT was built in Phoenix, but they were looking for designs, and they were looking at designs, and they're like, oh hey, this one looks good. That one was designed for a desert, not upstate New York. That's how you want it anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a lot, in Yugoslavia, there's a lot of these monuments made in Art Deco, sorry, not Art Deco, in brutalist style. Like this monument is to those who died defending the Death Star. Never forget. Actually, it's the monument to the most Slavina people during World War II. And there's millions like, not millions, but a lot like these in Yugoslavia. It's associated a lot with this style is actually associated a lot with communism. It's Soviet architecture. For example, take this building, which is not a spaceship, I assure you. Anyway, this is the Soviet headquarters, the Soviet Party headquarters in Bulgaria. This is what it looks like on the inside. I just want to remind you guys, brutalism does not care about your feelings.
No, I guess not.
Yeah?
So it's not a spaceship, but can you train in there under several times Earth's gravity?
Maybe? It looks pretty abandoned to me. I like all the graffiti in here. But this isn't supposed to be about Halo, really. Yeah, I sort of lost the Halo by looking at all the neat brutalist stuff. But essentially, who here does not know what Halo is about?
Found a bunch of dudes that are fighting other bunches of dudes on different
It's
planets.
about fighting aliens.
Yeah?
Which part of the
Halo's a pretty cool guy. It kills aliens and doesn't afraid of anything.
Anyway, so the alien covenant and the humanity are fighting over the ruins of the Forerunner civilization, yeah?
It's about Mr. Halo teabagging his friends.
Anyway, the Forerunners are an ancient species of aliens that built the Halo rings and built many of the ruins that we now fight over in the Halo games. And these ruins are done in a style reminiscent of brutalism. Like, it isn't strictly brutalism, but Bungie was calling upon brutalism when designing its levels and its architecture. Give it a moment to load, and this is some good examples. As you can see, we have stuff that looks like concrete, some type of alien metallic concrete.
Oh,
Done what?
just yawning. Don't worry about it.
Okay, sorry. And they all are in these weird geometric shapes, which raises the questions. What can we learn about the Forerunners based on their ruins?
They don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, they don't.
They made our losing the war with the flood.
Yeah, they were losing, but is that expressed in our architecture?
They don't have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, they don't have to use the bathroom.
Because they were dead.
Anyone else have any ideas about what we can learn from looking at their
The
architecture?
mantle of responsibility.
They're not human.
The mantle of responsibilities. How are they expressing the mantle of responsibilities?
Fucking no feelings.
Massive structures, clean design, geometric shapes that point upwards, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of the structures throughout the games kind of take on that same sort of pillar to the sky thing, and it seems very modular, so they were a lot more focused on function over form. They had so much responsibility that this didn't seem like a priority to build flowery buildings or anything like that.
And they also seem unpretentious in a way. I don't really see a lot of Forerunner. I mean, a lot of the stuff built on the Halo rings, I assume, are monuments, but they aren't really decorative monuments. You don't know what the Forerunners look like, at least from the first 3 games. And you barely read any text from them. They left very little record of themselves behind, but they did leave a record of their architecture. Yeah?
They're very focused on interchangeable parts that can move around and make different forms.
That's right. Parts of the structure actually move. And there's, of course, massive elevators, massive gondolas, massive horizontal elevators that take you around. Yeah, this is the library. This is the level called the library. Probably the worst level in the first Halo, but because you have no idea where you're going, and there's blood everywhere. It's scary.
You know where you're going. It's just a huge gauntlet campaign.
Yeah. So actually, this was a topic written by the author Aaron Cote on Kotaku. If you want to learn more about what architecture could say about the Forerunners, I recommend you read his article, Halo's Forerunner Architecture. But it shows how powerful they were, and it also shows that they value knowledge in a pretentious way. They don't value themselves, they value their ideals more than they value themselves. And one of their ideals is knowledge, and the other is purity. If only purity against the flood. So, do you guys like brutalism?
Yeah, sometimes.
Brutalism is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I like brutalism too. Like, it's not my favorite, but brutalism is certainly evocative. Even though it was clearly made by aliens. This is part of a university campus. There are classes taking place in here.
Now get to your bus, stay there till the lecture is done.
Yeah.
It looks like you could land a plane in between all those.
There's actually a stream that goes from here to here, like a fountain. It serves some purpose, I know. It has to. So, arcologies. Now, instead of looking to the past or present, let's go look in the future of architecture. And the future may be arcology. What? So arcologies are these massive structures, massive human habitats that are designed to be green, self-sufficient, and for dense populations. Although they are also self-contained as well. So this is one plan for New Orleans. I mean, it looks totally like nothing you'd expect in New Orleans at all. Yeah, it does. Yeah, all arcologies look ridiculous. This one looks like a four-sided die. But you see, they're trying to get investor support. I mean, arcology is stuff that are being seriously suggested, but not necessarily serious suggestions, in my opinion. Like, I don't think the technology is really there for something like this, nor is there really much economic point, really. Do they exist? Almost. Like, there are large buildings that's for residential, commercial, and entertainment, but there's also interconnected buildings. If you live in Las Vegas, you can travel from one casino to the other without exposing yourself to the elements. If you live in a place that's really cool, like Minneapolis, there's a system of skyways. If you live in somewhere like RIT Dormside, all these buildings are connected, and you can get your food there. You can go to the computer lab and get work done. There's some places in it for entertainment, like the billiards place. So RIT Dormside is almost an arcology. And there are campuses that exist that are self-sufficient and ecologically friendly. So why build an arcology? Efficiency with space? To shield from a hostile environment? I mean, that's why we build skyways and underground tunnels, right? That's why in the dead of winter I walk to the commons inside and not outside. And also to show that you can. Because these things are crazy, and if you actually build them, it means that you are amazing. There's also a lot of plans here, seriously proposed plans. Like I said, seriously proposed, but not serious proposals. To build arcologies to create utopias. So, who here has heard of seasteading? Well, seasteading is the idea of making floating cities outside the reach of government. Each seaside would have its own government, you see, and you'd be able to pick and choose the government you want, yeah?
Didn't these people play Bioshock?
Yeah, these are conceived by Silicon Valley libertarian objectivist types, who say they want to make the next Hong Kong. They want to make hundreds of Hong Kong-like cities, these such as floats, and they'll be free of government, free of everything that's holding society back, they say. So yeah, totally. This is going to be the next Bioshock. And we all know where this is heading.
Don't they know PMCs are a thing? I can just buy an army to take over that entire thing.
Well, they can buy their own PMC because they are libertarians and they don't have any problem with that. Yeah?
What happens when a big wave comes?
This is a big place. Big waves are less of a problem where you're at the PMC.
They're floating on the water in the middle of the ocean. Waves aren't a big issue that far out.
Yeah, wouldn't it
And
be
also,
like
if they have it built the right way, it would just go up with the wave and not be nannied by the wave anymore. It's like move upwards with it and not be. It would never be covered by a wave.
There's a number of technological challenges that are the reason why we don't really build floating cities right now. But according to some studies I look up, this is sort of possible and sort of impossible. We'll see, but I'm not paying for it.
You should build on the moon.
But this is the only Utopia project.
They don't have weather on the moon.
Who here has heard of the Venus project?
Is that building cities on Venus?
No.
We need to have the travelers.
Alright, so the idea of the Venus project is that the reason for all society's ills, death, disease, war, crime, is because of the way the society was designed. And we are a product of our environment first and foremost. We design the environment, redesign the cities we live in, and we redesign the people themselves to be better people. We redesign ourselves to listen to the better angels of our nature. Then they want to redesign cities to be more efficient, clean, they care a lot about being green, and accessible. And they want to redesign the economics based on the command economy model, which I should have talked about during my economics talk, but I was busy. And to me, this also feels like a lead into a post-apocalypse. Like, look at this poster. Does this feel like a poster that you're going to find tattered in a wall of a post-apocalypse? There are ecologies in works of science fiction as well. Who here remembers Brink's existence?
I do.
2, 3 people remember the existence of Brink.
I have a copy of Brink in my room.
A copy of Brink.
Yes.
Nice.
It's rare.
So Brink is a shooter, a lot like Overwatch.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Very more painful.
All right, a lot more. Okay, they describe more as a Titanfall, I guess. So,
Still no.
in Brink, it's a shooter, a multiplayer shooter where you shoot each other in the world's last city. You see, team levels have risen so much that it's encompassed all the land, leaving just this one city, this one floating city, to exist and support all of humanity. So of course there's a civil war, because why wouldn't there be? All right, so who here wants to live in our ecology?
I want to live in one of these laws. Ooh, that is
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
This is SimCity. All right, who here thinks that our ecologies can never possibly work?
This is one the first year here. I mean, they better if we don't have vertical bars like that we're kind of screwing our food supply.
Well, you see, the problem, I can get food at a restaurant at RIT, but I can't produce food. There's no agriculture going around in Dormside, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah?
I don't think, at least not in this economy, it'll be possible, because basically we would require that we stop all, production of things like coal and then gasoline, because that's not healthy for the environment. And we would also need to put all of our resources to making everything green. And we can see already how much people are resisting that.
Yeah. Well, who knows what the future actually holds. All right, so now we're going to jump by order of magnitude, talk about megastructures. So what are megastructures? Really big pieces of architecture. That's it. All right, so let's go into some examples. Well, do megastructures exist? Depending on your definition of megastructure, Great Wall of China, Large Hadron Collider, Burj Khalifa.
Wait, how big is the White House?
I think it's like, I want to say like 2,000 diameter.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is actually smaller than the Great Wall of China, but still one of the largest structures ever built.
Yeah, it's not like so much.
We actually, we planned for a bigger one in Texas for that guy that did, photo. Oh, that would have been like over 3 miles in diameter.
And this is, of course, someone climbing up the Burj Khalifa in a cool fashion.
Is that from,
Yeah.
Space elevators!
So the idea behind a space elevator is that rocket fuel is expensive, right? What did they call it again? The cannon. Well, yeah, I'll remember the name in a bit, but yeah, railguns. Railguns are also kind of expensive to build. If you build a space elevator, it would just be something running up the space elevator. It would be a vehicle acting as an elevator going up to space with a small tether. And once you're already in space, you already won half the battle, escaping the Earth's atmosphere. And from there, you can just launch a rocket or do whatever.
South Park anyone?
Yeah?
So, what about the huge amount of space debris we have around Earth and how incredibly dangerous it is because of the speed it's moving?
Yeah, that'd be a
We
problem.
get a really big net and we wrap it around.
Yeah, what if it's coming and shooting down?
Alright, so why hasn't this been built yet? Well, the reason this hasn't been built yet is because we don't have a material strong enough to hold it up together. The top is fine, the bottom is fine, the middle is where it snaps. It's the middle that's the problem. There's nothing that we have that's strong enough, and there might not ever be something strong enough to support this.
Just get a really big rope and tie it to the top of the space elevator to the moon.
What?
Hang off of the moon.
What happened when the moon moved around here?
Well, conceivably, if you don't, instead of planting a space elevator on the ground, you can place it in an orbital satellite. So when the moon rotates around the Earth, the satellite is also rotating with the moon. Yeah?
Actually, had it plans for a new space station to be placed between the vantage point of the Earth and moon, like halfway out.
Way more than
Is it more halfway out? Wherever it is.
Alright, there are other types of macro structures. We have hollowed out worlds, where the inside is used as storage spaces for microgravity engineering. Like, why hollow out the world? I don't know.
Hey, look, it's a small moon.
It's a small moon. How do you compare a small moon to a big moon? Like, what
You
type
put
of...
them next to each other and you're like, hey, the sun's smaller than the other.
Speaking of small moons,
It's not even finished. I know you will find this space. Oh, yeah, or that's no.
maybe I should have talked about Star Wars during this. Oh well.
Star Wars? The fuck is Star Wars? It's slaves.
Anyway, actually, come to think of it, a lot of Star Wars architecture of the Empire is brutalist.
Well, the Citadel. Mass Effect.
The Citadel from Mass Effect, that's not really brutalist, but the Citadel from Half-Life 2.
What about the art?
No, I'm just saying, in order to the world, that's Citadel.
Yeah. I wish I could remember that.
The massive 400 feet structure.
Yeah?
Used as a foundry for the Halo Ring.
Yeah?
Yet another set of mega structures.
Yeah. That's true. So let's talk about Dyson spheres. So a Dyson sphere is a structure that encapsulates an entire star and uses all of the solar energy of the star. Uses the star as a generator, as just a personal generator at the center of this. Such a structure would of course be so big that it would just be incomprehensibly big. This is the Enterprise, and this looks like a flat wall. Yeah. It captures all the solar energy of the star it's built around, but this isn't really a practical idea, is it? For a more practical idea, ring worlds. Who here has ever read Ring World? For who here read Ring World as their first science fiction novel?
Talk about Halo.
Alright, fine. So Halo is based on a ring world, but not like a regular ring world, which is basically a cross-section of a Dyson sphere. The idea is that Halo rotates, and because it rotates, it changes when the star is actually shining light down on each side of the ring. So this is free floating rings. But there's also another model where the ring isn't completely around the star, and we have a second ring creating a day-night cycle, a ring of plates that's job is to simply block the sunlight. This is what Ring World is actually about. The idea is these rings are also spinning in place so that it can use centrifugal force in order to simulate gravity. It's a way of getting around the artificial gravity thing in science fiction, and it's something that could conceivably work if we can find a material strong enough to actually hold it together. No, it's not gravity. It's the opposite of gravity. It's centrifugal force.
It's all,
You just say? No, I'm not saying that's the opposite.
Michael, it's all about the fun.
No. And yeah, centrifugal. Yeah, I know centrifugal force is not real. We're not getting into that debate again. We're not doing that again. There's also couplet structures. The idea is that these are tubes in space that rotate in order to get that centrifugal force. Which I know isn't real, so don't debate me on it. Yes?
It's Topopoulos.
Topopoulos. I never actually heard it spoken out loud. Yeah?
This is what
Yeah.
The stereo is basically this, but it opens up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it can close.
I've seen version of this where instead of this all being round, some of these are massive windows that allow the sun to go in, simulating a day-night cycle. So that's basically all I have to say about architecture. But I just want to but I hope you guys are paying attention though, because now it's time for the quiz.
Do we get a question?
Yeah?
What's cheaper, Star Killer Base or Death Star?
The Death Star.
I think someone calculated Star Killer Base cheaper because they use the planet to create something completely.
Alright, so who created Breaking Gothic?
I mean, Emperor. I will convert.
Yeah. I'm flattered.
I know that.
And this is called the Eden Project. Is it real life or science fiction? Raise your hand for real life. Raise your hand for science fiction. It is real life. I use color in black and white to make it look faker. So, realism, is it aliens?
Yes. No, it's the Soviet.
Same thing.
Yeah. Although, how many slides are in this presentation?
Over 50. Over 60.
At least 5.
Something like that. It actually is 80.
What?
Including this last thing. Thank you. So if you appreciate this presentation, I want you guys to log on to LinkedIn and go vouch for my ability to use PowerPoint on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a fourth-year game design development student, and I love everything. I want to make presentations on everything, but there's only so much time. And I'm taking suggestions for our next presentation, which will be sometime next semester, I assume. So, do people like architecture? Yeah. Are you guys gonna walk around RIT a little differently now?
Yes. How can we turn RIT into a space station?
Take up space. Well, because brutalists are from aliens, we're already aliens because you go to RIT. So.
Yeah.
We need to bring the sci-fi character.
Yeah. Anyone have any presentations on this? Anyone have any suggestions for future presentations?
Just going off that list, sci-fi dancing would be cool.
No. I didn't like dancing. I didn't say that I'm good at it. Yeah?
Next up, we're seeing the fencing.
Fencing and sci-fi.
Yeah?
Fish and sci-fi.
Fish and sci-fi?
No.
Yes. Yeah?
What is ethnomusicology?
Oh, it's the study of music and ethnicity in Europe. Because outside of your group, they're called tribes instead of ethnic groups. Yeah, it's sort of a big thing. You see, my mother's an ethnomusicologist, which is why I have learned about it, and she focuses on Eastern Europe. Any other suggestions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, something that seems like something we would actually do instead of just another joke is something more on sci-fi politics, kind of connecting to things you mentioned in your government sci-fi presentation and this one.
Maybe. Yeah.
What about religion and sci-fi? We did a religion initiative, but that was 10 years ago, and there's plenty of new content since then.
That was like late 2013, I think.
Maybe.
It was early 2014.
I think it was early.
Sci-fi.
So yeah, there's definitely been plenty of new content since then, and I think we both contributed to it. Because I don't want to contribute to it, but I
I love philosophy and science fiction. Yeah?
Science.
Science and science fiction? Are you mad? Maybe we want to learn about philosophy. Yeah?
If it contains reapers, I'm down.
Do it.
Yeah? Well, that's all I basically have, so do we have any announcements now?
Hey, Cameron, are you the announcements guy?
I am the announcements guy.
Do you have announcements?
Just real quick, if you're a poster, I have your posters right up here. Come get them. So you're home pretty ones. Yeah.
If you have $11, you can buy your Doctor Strange tickets.
And if you have free time this Stargate Rescue runs from 11 in the morning to 5 in the evening. Come anytime. There will be free food throughout the day. There will be free games you can play. And then for only $7 or less, if you're a Star member, you can play one or you can play two Escape the Room puzzle tracks and try to go on a rescue mission. It's going to be a ton of fun.
And 1 week later, if you're free on that Saturday, come turn around to this. A fun free day of free activities from 6 to 30 clubs. Also free food.
A+ events.
An apartment building to a train.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems practical. An apartment
Over
building,
there.
a train. A train car, that's what they're talking. Yeah, you can start off.